Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast, everybody. Oh, and Liz is here. I'm your mystery host. I was gonna do a whole bit and then Liz walked in, so...
I didn't realize I was walking Apple Watch.
Is that what they're... Wow, that whole bit unfocused my camera. So you're just gonna...
Should I join you?
You're just gonna do the podcast like this?
Should I join you?
What do you mean join me? Like this? Or like over...
Do you want me to join you? Or do you want to run this?
I would like to make all the notes that I made for the matches worth it.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
And I love you all.
They did not hear that.
I hope they did.
They did not. Miriam says, please let her stay. It was Tyler Rust night. She deserves to be here. You want to sit here? Like, you could sit here and listen. Because you didn't watch the show. This could be a nice recap for you.
I will come back with a drink and after I go to the bathroom.
Okay, I'll do the news while you do that. Welcome to Pinfall. You know what? I'm going to do the bit.
Do the bit.
I'm doing the bit. Whoa, it's missed. It's not worth it at this point. Welcome to Pinfall Podcast, everybody. I'm your host for this evening, Mark. Feels weird just saying my first name. Mark Cameron. I'm your host for this evening. Liz was supposed to be away. She's back and will be joining the podcast, but it'll just be me hosting it today. So expect, basically same thing as yesterday. This was NXT. It was a hype ass show with a lot of shit going on. Karrion retained the title, unfortunately. Some matches announced for next week. Kazaya Lee versus Raquel for the title. A lot of shit. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for agreeing with my picks. See what happens when Liz is not here to dispute any of it and get the right picks. But without going too further into the episode, let's just jump right into the fucking news, I guess. Somehow some stuff happened since yesterday. So according to Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about how Drew McIntyre and Aleister Black were both the final two choices for who would beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title in 2020. Obviously, Drew McIntyre was the one who did it, and Vince was the one who made that decision. But Aleister Black was very, very close. Because this kind of goes in tandem with Aleister Black talking about how changes happen all the time and how it's kind of a cop-out. But yeah, really want to see what a WWE champion Aleister Black would look like. Then next up, Matt and Rebecca Hardy had their fourth child. Congratulations, Matt and Rebecca. Their child is named Evermore Hardy. That sounds like a horrible joke, and I will refrain from saying more. Next, so apparently, Shotzi Blackheart's new official name is just Shotzi. On the WWE.com roster, she is now just Shotzi. Her name's been officially shortened. Which kind of sucks, because Blackheart was a sick-ass last name. Okay. Then, according to Fightful, this is a spoiler. Anyone who doesn't want this spoiled for them, mute the stream and I'll wave back at you when the spoils are over. Alright. So mute it now if you don't want spoilers. Okay, so according to Fightful, John Cena is supposed to make his return in the next 11 days.
What?
Within the next 11 days. July 23rd, SmackDown or sooner is when he's set to return, according to Fightful. If everything goes well. Yeah. Okay. Spoilers are over. And last piece of news. A report on TMZ. Candy Cartwright apparently dropped the sexual assault lawsuit against Matt Riddle. Her attorney said the parties have put this in their past and are focused on the future. There's no word from Riddle's attorney. No idea if they reached some kind of monetary agreement, or I don't know whether it was Candy's idea or the attorney's idea. But you know, nothing will come out of it, I guess. And that's all the news we have. And Liz is here. Liz is here to react live to this episode. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear her. If she screams, you'll be able to hear it. All right. What do you want to ask?
I'm not going to ask.
No, oh, okay. All right, well, we started off immediately with Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai. Saw Ember's walk out with like the chainsaw and everything and thought Shotzi was still here in NXT. But speaking of still in NXT, we'll hear a lot more later on. Yep. So the match starts off, we get a lockup between the two women. Ember gives some arm drags to Dakota, puts her in the arm bar, but Dakota responds with an axe kick to Ember's back for a near fall. This match saw a roll up to Dakota Kai for a near fall. This match had a lot of near falls. Dakota gives a big kick to Ember's face. Ember reverses a kick into a roll up again for a near fall. Dakota leaves the ring and Ember suicide dives Dakota. That smashed Dakota's head into the barrier. Yeah. It looked pretty nasty. But Dakota then gets the receipt by smashing Ember into the apron. But Ember drop kicks Dakota on top of the apron and sends a kick to Dakota's midsection, neck breaker, followed by a flying crossbody, once again for a near fall. Dakota does a handstand and kick to Ember. Dakota then counters Ember's kick from the top turnbuckle and drops her on the floor. Running kick for a near fall. Raquel shouts from the outside, "You're nothing without Shotzi." Dakota then climbs the buckles. Ember kicks her and then gives a Hurricane Rana from the top buckle, again for a near fall. Dakota gives a Coda kick from the top rope and then pinfall to win. So victory to Dakota. But shortly after that, Xia Li comes out, walks immediately past Dakota and confronts Raquel. And Raquel points to the title, says, "You want this? This is as close as you'll get." So that seems to be Raquel's next challenger, which is kind of shocking. There probably would have been more with Mercedes and Xia had Mercedes not gotten, that nasty injury. Next up, we have an interview with Diamond Mine that was put out on social media. Malcolm Bivens said, "We have the best fighters with the best coaches, with the best prospects." And notice, Tyler Rust gestured to Suzuki
Hachiman.
What?
Hachiman.
Yeah, I know they trademarked it. I didn't know that was his confirmed name. But I don't think we'll be seeing Suzuki wrestling, considering they made him out to be a coach. But we'll see. Hopefully we do see him fight. Bivens continues with, "All under one roof. Diamond Mine is about competition, so it's an open challenge time." Bobby Fish walks in. He said, "Challenge? Perfect. I'm in." He gets in Roddy's face. Then Bivens said, "No, you face Tyler Rust first." And then they say something that's super quiet and I cannot hear it. Him said Tyler Russ has been the prospect in every promotion he's been in for like 10 years, so this is very fun to see. You know what they say. He's a diamond in the rust. We then get a vignette about Ikemen Jiro. He says, Ikemen means handsome in Japanese. I'll still kick your ass. He was trained by the great Muda. He's looking forward to fighting Big Guy. WWE has lots of big guys. Ikemen will win the NXT Breakout Tournament. And we get the start to the little videos of Cameron Grimes as LA Knight's butler. LA Knight is gets off the phone. He says the troglodyte's on his way now. Oh boy, the $1 million megastars. Oh wait, I gotta do LA Knight voice. Troglodyte's on his. God, why? Oh boy, it's the $1 million megastar's new butler, dummy. Look, I showed up. I had my word before my money. I'm here to hold up my end of the bargain. I'm gonna go to the room. You're only gonna go to the toilet, dummy. The barber then goes to work on Grimes. I am a little all over the place with these LA Knight impressions. It's not my best. The barber goes to work on Cameron Grimes. And LA Knight says, wow, they did a number on you. And Cameron Grimes is actually like looking all neat. He's got trimmed beard, ponytail. He said, I look so good. LA Knight says, no, you look like a damn penguin, a butler. Cameron says, I think you're mad because I look good. And then we get Tyler Russ versus Bobby Fish after that. Which, I gotta be honest, was not a good match. It wasn't.
You stop that.
It wasn't. Bobby Fish got a jobber entrance. They didn't even show his entrance.
Robert Fish did fine, I'm sure.
No, it was a squash.
How could you do?
It was a squash.
Also Tyler Russ, so like.
And Roddy distracted, which is lame. But anyway, we get jobber entrance for Bobby Fish. Tyler Russ gives a sidewalk slam to Fish, followed by a dragon screw, and stomps his elbow. He puts a submission on Fish. Fish then responds with a few strikes and a back body drop. Roddy gets up on the apron. Before he can get too distracted, Bobby tackles Tyler Russ and then confronts Roddy. See, even Miriam agrees it wasn't the best.
Oh, I was really watch it.
Bobby says, get in the ring. Tyler Russ then sneaks up behind, gives a chop block to Bobby, kicks him in the head, and pinfall to win. It was very short. Everyone from Diamond Mine gets in the ring to kind of gang up on Bobby Fish, but then Kushida runs out to Bobby Fish's aid and then defends him against Diamond Mine. And then they announce later on the show that next week we'll be getting Bobby Fish and Kushida versus Roderick Strong and Tyler Russ. That's going to be an exciting match. And then we go to Karrion Kross fucking using punching bag. You know, like you do. Samoa Joe walks in. He says, I'll be your official. Obey my commands at all times. Karrion's not listening to him, so Joe kicks away the punching bag. He says, do you understand? Karrion says, you provoke me. You are going to be the one who gets dealt with. Joe just says, I'll take that as a yes. Afterwards, we get Indy Hartwell and Beth Phoenix backstage. Beth asks Indy about Dexter and says, look, nothing happened with me and Dex. It wasn't the time. We just lost the titles. Beth says, sometimes you just have to take a chance. And then following that, we get a very exciting match, which actually was great. Gigi Dolin versus Saray. They start off with a very friendly handshake that I didn't think would be so friendly. Also, real quick, Gigi Dolin, or I guess they're calling her Dolan, so it's Gigi Dolan. she has like they haven't taken away her look at all. Like she still has maintained her look from the indies going into this, which is really awesome. And it works so well on TV. She's just gotta I think she's gotta work a little bit on her promos. She's not the best. She's not. She's really not.
She's young. She's not young, but she's fresh.
Yeah, I mean, she keeps like that sexy voice, you know, from being a dominatrix, which doesn't really translate that well on TV. Especially when she's talking to, who's she talking to? I think it was Saray she was talking to.
Poor Saray. Saray's so innocent.
Yeah, unless I'm wrong and she was talking to someone else. But where was I? I moved in my notes. Okay. So we start off with a handshake and we get a lockup in the beginning. Saray gives an arm drag to Gigi. Gigi then puts Saray in a knee headlock. And then out of nowhere, Mandy Rose appears on the stage. Mandy Rose comes out. And then the crowd chants, "You don't go here." And I don't know if they're breaking up, Mandy and Dana, but it was weird.
They called up so many women, they were like, "We don't need this one."
Even WWE Twitter tweeted like, "This is weird." They tweeted, what?
Why?
Don't know.
You're like ambassador. That's fucking weird of all people.
Well, you'll see what happens later on. It kind of makes sense, but also doesn't make sense considering what she's doing on Raw. But Saray tries to roll up Gigi and gets off a very unique submission on her, tying up her legs and then arching back and pulling up her jaw. Gigi gives an inside cradle to Saray, tries to roll her up after that for a near fall. Then we get an STO onto Saray. But while Gigi's running the ropes, Saray drop kicks her, and then she's sitting up against the ropes, and Saray gives the nastiest basement drop kick to Gigi, like full contact in the face, snapped her neck back and everything. It was mean looking. Miriam said Mandy came back thinking she was going to get the Finn Balor Ember Moon return pop. Ha. No one's gonna pop like that for Mandy, of all people. No offense to Mandy. Saray then gives a suplex to Gigi for the pinfall to win. Really fun match that had a very surprising appearance. We then go to Legado in the promo. Santos says Bronson is a winner and was lucky he gets to live happily ever after, away from me. But Swerve is a winner, but very unlucky. He has the North American title. And then Wild says, "Did you hear the cipher? It was offensive to my ears. Swerve was completely off tune." And then Mendoza says, "They have no class either." Santos then says, "But Dexter Lumis, he is a loser. A loser in love and in the ring." And Santos going after Dexter came out of nowhere, but the match later fucking slapped. So then we have a vignette from Duke Hudson. He says, "I've got the best backside in the business. Yes, Ikemen is high flying, but I'm just going to punch him in the face. You can call me the NXT Breakout Tournament winner."
Can I just say, I don't know if the microphone will, it seems like it will because
lean in a little bit more.
But I just want to say that I think I hated Brendan Vink for so long that I loved you now.
Yeah, you just didn't like his name.
I'm in love with him. That was the only thing stopping me, and I am fully behind him for the rest of this tournament. Duke Hudson.
Well, you'll have more time to cheer for him. So then we go to Dexter Lumis versus Santos Escobar. Which... What?
Freddie said Duke reminds them of a younger Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I could see that.
True shit.
I could see that. There's somebody else he reminded me of, but I can't remember who right now. Oh, he reminds me of Brendan Vink. All right, so, and yes, that is a very high compliment because Wade Barrett is an incredible wrestler and very handsome. So, Dexter Lumis versus Santos Escobar. Dexter just stands completely still. Santos tries to make him flinch. It doesn't work, but he gives a shoulder check to Dexter, which sends him to the ground, but Dexter kips up. He then catches Santos's punch, and then leaps onto Santos after running the ropes, and then starts doing his little crawl around the ring. Santos gets out of the ring and says, "This guy is a creep. Get him." Mendoza and Wilde like go around the ring, and he's not there. But then out of nowhere, Santos is dragged under the ring. He did the thing, yes. Wilde and Mendoza pull him out, and then Dexter quickly pops out from the ring. Santos, back in the ring, Santos stomps on Dexter's hand, slaps Dexter's chest, and double knees to his chest. He gives a Hurricane Rana from the top rope, and then we get a couple near falls, a basement drop kick to Dexter, and then an attempt at the Three Amigos, but Lumis turns around the last one. Santos then gives a backstabber to Lumis. Lumis responds with a lariat, followed by a bulldog and a spine buster, but Mendoza and Wilde help Santos. Mendoza distracts the ref while Wilde attacks Lumis. And then Santos finishes with a Phantom Driver to win. A surprising loss for Dexter, but it's well booked because it was one of those distraction or assisted wins. It gives a very needed win to Santos while still making Dexter look very strong. And then we go to an interview with Kyle O'Reilly by Wade Barrett. Kyle says, "Losing is just part of what we do. I look back and struggle to see who I was. Where was the killer instinct? Now I'm wondering if I need Undisputed Era back. I need to get my groove back. That old Kyle is in here somewhere. It's how you walk through the fire. You can't do the things Adam Cole's done and get away with it. I'm the guy that can and will finish Adam Cole." See about that. Then we get Cameron Grimes and LA Knight again. LA Knight says, "You call me Sir and Mr. Knight, dummy. I'm gonna need you to mow this lawn. The whole thing." Yeah, we see a wide shot of the whole lawn. It seems pretty big, and Cameron Grimes says, "You think this is big? Wait until I get on this bush hog." LA Knight says, "I don't know what a bush hog is, but you can mow the lawn with this." He hands him a push mower, one of the manual ones. He says, "You want me to cut this big yard with this thing? Easy peasy. My grandma used to chase me through the yard with this thing." I really like how they're turning around this whole Butler bit to where Cameron just fucking embraces it and loves it. Then we go to moments ago when Indy Hartwell comes in to check on Dexter Lumis after the match. They go in for the kiss, but Candice LeRae runs in and pulls Indy away. And that brings us right into Duke Hudson versus Ikemen Jiro in the first round of the NXT Breakout Tournament. I don't know what Liz is reacting to, but if asked...
I'm mad I missed it!
Missed what?
Duke Hudson!
Oh, I mean, it's recorded. You can watch it. So Duke immediately plants Jiro and tries to taunt and flex while standing on him. But Jiro quickly stands up. He baits Hudson with several taunts and then gives a handstand on top of the buckles, or headstand. Duke catches Jiro, kicks him in the head, and plants him on the rope. But then Jiro responds with some jacket punches, and then a tarantula on the ropes to Duke Hudson. It's hard to describe, but basically, Jiro's on one side of the ropes, Hudson's on the other side. Jiro is latched on all of Duke's limbs and kind of just hangs there. Very interesting and cool looking. Duke catches Jiro and gives a belly to belly and a massive uppercut to Jiro that made full contact. Jiro was checking his teeth like the entire rest of the match. Like that looked like it hurt. I was worried we're going to have another Cesaro situation. Or Tim Thatcher, but it was like straight under the jaw, so it could have like sent his teeth, you know.
But also the Tim Thatcher situation.
Miriam said the tarantula's like an upside gory bomb. I think that's what it looked like. Kinda. It's a very unique move that I think he learned from his one of his mentors. Duke tries to crucifix bomb Jiro, but Jiro counters with a Hurricane Rana and then a springboard moonsault onto the floor. But then Hudson ends the match with a boss man slam to Jiro for the pinfall to win. Yeah.
My boy!
Duke Hudson beat the fan favorite.
Duke!
I feel like we don't want the win. Like, we don't want somebody to win. Because I feel like how this is going to go is whoever wins this thing will need the most help getting over. Because, like, Ikemen Jiro does not need help getting over. I'm saying that out of the two, he's, you know, the least over. We haven't seen him in a long time.
Sure.
Probably somebody like somebody super unknown, like Odyssey Jones would win the whole thing.
Duke Hudson to win on my... Thank you.
What's his name? Carmelo Hayes? Was he the one to fight Adam Cole and Kushida? He is definitely not winning because he needs no help at all getting over.
No.
So after that, we get an interview with Pete Dunne, Oni Lorcan, and when this interview happened, I immediately thought of you, Liz. You will love this. So Pete Dunne's asked about who he thinks is going to win tonight. He says, I don't care who wins tonight. Go find Johnny and ask him who's the baddest man. Find Kross and tell him what happened at TakeOver. One-on-one, I'll beat either, because I'm the best technician in WWE. And then Tim Thatcher walks in. And he says, are you the baddest technician? Or are you the best technician or the baddest in NXT? And Pete Dunne says, who's asking? Tommaso then runs in and starts a fight amongst all of them. And this feud is gonna slap. Like, all four of these men are fucking incredible in the ring, so I am excited. And the next match, the final match before the main event, I was not excited for going in, but what came out of it was very exciting. So we had Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter versus Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. We start with a big boot from Jessie to Casey immediately. Aaliyah gives a big Northern Lights suplex to Casey for a near fall. Camilla comes in and gives an axe kick to Casey, but Casey gives an inside cradle to Camilla for a near fall. Hot tag from Kaden coming into Aaliyah. And I think Casey distracted the ref, or I think Robert Stone threw his shoe, which distracted the ref. And Aaliyah went for the pinfall, or went for the roll-up, but the ref didn't see it. Kaden then super kicks Aaliyah, and then Casey gives a 450 splash to win. Not a super exciting match, but after the match, Robert Stone gets in the ring, and Aaliyah pushes him. Robert Stone yells, "What is wrong with you, Aaliyah?" Aaliyah says, "I helped you more than you helped me." And she gives a big punch to him, and then starts pummeling him in the corner. Gives a kick to his midsection. She walks out, and she gets a the crowd explodes for Aaliyah, breaking away from Robert Stone. You didn't listen to anything I just said, did you?
I blacked out on that one.
No,
Sorry.
Aaliyah beat up Robert Stone because she's sick of his shit, and the crowd exploded. They were so happy, and she was way over with that. Jessie Camille was completely confused as she was walking out, and then Frankie Monet comes out after Aaliyah leaves, and then she gestures Jessie Camille to come with her. Robertson's going with them and just yells, just go, because he's in too much pain. God. Yeah, this whole episode was just so exciting.
Of course it was, because
Then we go to The Way. Backstage, Samoa Joe walks in to kind of do the same thing, but The Way chants, Joe, 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 Joe. Joe says, I'll be your official tonight. Obey my commands. Johnny says, that's easy. We're law-abiding citizens. Austin Theory says, want to hang out, Joe? You can have one of these Way shirts. They've got new cool-looking Way shirts. Joe just immediately walks out, but Pete Dunne has a stare down with him outside of the room. Again, no words, no actions, just a stare down. And then we get another LA Knight and Cameron Grimes promo. Or not really promo, but segment. So Cameron Grimes is lounging by the pool. LA Knight says, why are you not out there? Is that a kid on the lawn? Cameron Grimes says, I said I'd be your butler, but I'm also a millionaire. I know how to delegate. LA Knight says, I don't care how much money you have. When I ask you to do something, you do it, dummy. The kid walks in and says, the lawn's all finished, Mr. Grimes. And LA Knight's like, who is this? Cameron Grimes said, this is Noah. It was 500, wasn't it? LA Knight says, no, it was 0. I have a strict no kids policy. Grimes, LA Knight drops some money and Cameron Grimes offers to help him and tries to rake it up for some reason and then knocks LA Knight into the pool. Says, may I get you a towel, sir? I hope he's continuing to next week because he's been pretty good today. And then we get Adam Cole. Adam Cole doing a long-ass monologue. He says, my God, does it feel good to say I told you so. I told the world I was better than Kyle. I proved it. Not only did I prove I am the greatest NXT superstar in the history of NXT. I proved that Kyle's win at Stand and Deliver was a fluke. It doesn't count because it was unsanctioned. I was listening to your interview, Kyle. Losing is a part of what you do. You sure did go through the fire, and you got burned by Adam Cole. If I were you, I would highly reconsider that rematch. But enough about Kyle. Instead, let's talk about Samoa Joe. The big bad Samoa Joe, who snuck up from behind and put me in the clutch. And he did nothing as Kyle tried to rip my knee from my socket. The coward Joe. You are nothing more than an overpaid security guard. You do not scare me. And I know you won't face me. I know there's nobody in the locker room man enough to go toe-to-toe with me. And Bronson Reed walks out. Yes, Liz, this is somebody still in NXT. Were you again not listening?
Heard that one.
Okay.
Just heard it.
Yes.
Wow.
Bronson Reed comes out. He says, Adam Cole, you gotta love the confidence. You are a master of mind games, and you're a master of manipulating someone who's got nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. Adam Cole, right now, all eyes are on me. What's my next move? People consider you NXT's golden boy, while I consider you my golden opportunity. So, baby, and then Adam Cole tries to super kick Bronson, but Bronson catches it, and then body checks him into the mat. Samoa Joe then comes out and just eyes Adam Cole before getting in the ring for the main event. Adam Cole leaves, and Bronson and Joe kind of eye each other a little bit, which is kind of weird, but also I'm vibing with it. And so now we have, before the main event, we had Robert Stone, Jessie Camille, and Frankie Monet in an interview. And Frankie Monet says, we won't have to worry about Aaliyah anymore. Mandy Rose then walks in, and she says, looks like the brand is under new management. I think Mandy Rose is taking up a management role on NXT.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, you can ask something.
What if I don't want it?
Well, you're gonna have it.
Ah, that sucks ass.
What sucks is, like, she's actually not a bad wrestler. It would have been better to have her as a wrestler on the main roster.
But she has no person.
That's why her being a personality and not wrestling is worse. She should be wrestling. She's a better wrestler than personality. Anyway. So we get Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross, and this was the most I was ever on the edge of my seat. Oh, you'll see.
I know how it goes.
So, Johnny Gargano goes in for some strikes immediately before the bell rings. Karrion gives a Saito suplex to Johnny, but Johnny gives a drop kick to Karrion, sends Karrion to the outside and super kicks his head, followed by a splash, but Karrion responds with a big boot. Joe gets out of the ring and just yells, "Get in the ring, Kross!" I like how she wanted to hear what happened in this match and then just leaves. Anyway, Kross runs shoulder first into the stairs after Johnny moved out of the way, but he throws Johnny spine first into the edge of the desk, and that looked fucking nasty. His lower back just impacts the very edge. Looks like it really hurt. Kross puts Johnny in the straitjacket in the ring, but Johnny breaks out of it. Kross no-sells lariats from Johnny, of course. Johnny then gives a step-up enziguri to Kross, followed by a slingshot spear for a near fall. Johnny then suicide dives onto Kross. Kross counters the one final beat, and then follows it up with a Northern Lights suplex, and then a vertical suplex for a near fall. They both are on top of the top turnbuckle. Kross sets up the Doomsday Saito suplex, but Johnny crossbodies Kross off the turnbuckle. Kross quickly recovers with the lariat, but Johnny gives a big DDT to Kross. Kross gives a big elbow to Johnny, followed by a choke slam. But Johnny responds with a super kick and then another super kick and breaks out of the straitjacket once again and puts Kross in the Gargano escape. But then Kross gets the straitjacket onto Johnny. Johnny grabs the rope, and Joe pushes Karrion off of Johnny. And Karrion gets in his face, slams Johnny into the barrier, says, "Time to go, Johnny," and he does this gesture to Joe. Boom. He grabs the stairs, and Joe rips the stairs away from him. They have another little face-off. Johnny gives a DDT to Karrion, followed by the one final beat, only for a near fall. Karrion then gives his big forearm to Johnny, followed by a powerbomb, and another powerbomb, and another powerbomb, followed by the Doomsday Saito suplex, and finally the forearm for the pinfall. Yeah, Karrion retained.
Boring.
Yep. The crowd fucking hated it.
Really?
The crowd hated Karrion retaining because they were so over on Johnny.
Well, everyone's over on.
Yeah, but like they were fucking hyped for Johnny to win, and then when Johnny lost, he was getting like, "You sucks," boos, all that shit.
Can I say one thing?
Uh-huh.
This could be a positive because now that they've got 5 crowds, that and
Oh, you got to get closer. You're fading out.
saying that with live crowds now, they might be gauging things off of what the crowds say,
Mm-hmm.
and it might end up being a rematch.
I don't think so because I mean MSK has had horrible reaction from the crowd.
Who do you think would next then for the title? Because Karrion's gonna leave soon.
Well, let me finish talking about this match real quick, and
Alright.
then we'll see.
No, shut up.
So Joey and Karrion are arguing in the ring, and then Karrion gives a straight jacket to Joe, and then says, "You brought this on yourself," and then that's the end of the episode. So maybe Joe's returning to the ring sooner rather than later. But it's not going to be Adam Cole facing him next. It's not Pete Dunne. We might get a rematch with Johnny. And I feel like they wouldn't be turning Johnny face unless they had plans for him to go against other heels. Unless they were planning a War Games feud. Just possible. They could be doing both. Huh?
It's there. The option is there.
Yeah, the option is there. And so that's the end of the episode. Very hyped episode that had some great matches, had some other flops. What are you doing? Oh, you're putting up the new sign. Okay.
I feel weird not being able to do anything here.
You're just a spectator right now. That's fine.
I hate this.
Okay.
I want to talk.
Well, you're talking right now.
Yeah, but not the way I want it.
Alright, so best of the night. If you have a question for the question segment after the best of the night, leave it in the chat now. So we can get to it before the end of the podcast and after the best of the night. So, promo of the night. And this is all gonna be me, so I don't need to run through all of them again.
No.
There were a lot of great segments in this episode. A lot of really great stuff, reveals, shit like that. But I think my pick for promo of the night's Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. It was just so funny and a nice turnaround from the expected Butler bit. I would go with Adam Cole and Bronson Reed, but I don't know. Adam Cole felt a little... Yeah, it feels like he's repeating some stuff between promos. But that feud does excite me a lot. Alright, so wrestler of the night. I'm going to go one by one here. We started with Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai. I'm going with Ember Moon. She looked really good. But not a whole lot of what she did was very memorable. But I mean, Ember Moon's moveset is so fun to watch. It's a shame she didn't get off an Eclipse. Then we had Tyler Rust versus Bobby Fish. Easily gotta be Tyler Rust. Bobby Fish didn't get off much offense at all. Then we had Gigi Dolan versus Saray. Saray looked fucking nasty in this match. She looked incredible. So she's my pick for this match. That drop kick, my god, it looked like it killed Gigi. Then we had Santos Escobar versus Dexter Lumis, and I love Dexter Lumis, but I'm giving this to Santos. She looks so ridiculous back there.
My glasses up.
Nobody heard that, but
Blurry lines, baby.
Yeah, Santos looked amazing. I mean, just his offense against Dexter, trying to figure out how to topple this beast was so good. He's such a fun wrestler to watch, and hopefully he works his way back up to the title, because like Wade Barrett said, it doesn't feel right with him not having gold around his waist. Then we had Duke Hudson versus Ikemen Jiro. I'm going with Ikemen Jiro. Ikemen was so much fun to watch. You would know if you watched the match.
Offensive.
Liz, you didn't even watch the match.
It's the
you don't
anti-Duke, parade you're on.
tell me one move Duke Hudson does.
The thing where he does other things. I don't know. I don't even remember what Brendan Vink fucking. So
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Ikemen Jiro is my pick. He was so much fun to watch. I mean, the dude is such a high flyer and moves fucking everywhere, and the way he took that uppercut was well done. Hopefully he has all his teeth still. Then we had Casey and Kaden versus Robert Stonebrand. I'll go with Casey just because she nailed the 450, I guess. Casey didn't look that impressive this time. And finally, Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano. I'm gonna go with Johnny. Karrion is no fun to watch at all. Like he is one of the most boring wrestlers to watch. His finishers are so boring. The straight jacket doesn't look convincing at all. This one arm that's just like this looks like it's doing nothing, and then the forearm is just as protected as the Judas effect.
Stupid.
The forearm or the Judas effect?
No, both.
Yeah.
But in this particular...
Yeah, the forearm is super lame. It's super protected, which sucks. But meanwhile, Johnny's moveset is incredible. The one final beat is so much fun when it happens. It's a shame it's not as protected as the fucking forearm. There's not even a name to Karrion's forearm. But Johnny sold this match real well. He looked for a moment like he was going to take it. Really did. I was hoping. But my pick for Wrestler of the Night. It's tough. I think I'm going to go with Santos Escobar. Santos, not only did he look great in the ring, but he also gave off some great character moments. His character work was great. I think that's the one thing somebody like Saray is lacking right now because they're just starting out. Not so much character work. I mean, in WWE. She's had like what? 5 matches. She's had 5 matches in WWE. Because she's 5-0 right now. I can't wait for the eventual gimmick switch for Saray, just like they did with Io Shirai when she starts like all bubbly, like coming right out of Stardom or Japan, and turns very edgy, very NXT. But yeah, Santos Escobar is my pick for Wrestler of the Night tonight. And then Match of the Night. We're going to go least favorite to favorite. This one might be a little surprising, but... So, least favorite match. Sorry, Liz. It's Tyler Russ versus Bobby Fish.
Wow, it's like you hate me.
3 out of 10. It was a lame-ass match. Bobby Fish treated like a jobber. Roderick Strong, distracting. Like, it's so stupid that Diamond Mine would do distraction stuff like that. Because they seem to be like a very physically, pure wrestling-based faction. So it seems dumb that they just distract. But next up, with a 4 out of 10, Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter versus Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. The interesting stuff was after the match. The match itself was pretty lame. I mean, there's kind of nothing to it. Yeah. But what happened afterwards was interesting. Also at 4 out of 10, Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai. It was missing a lot of momentum. It was fine. But it didn't feel as impactful as a match like this should have been. This felt like a write-off for Ember Moon. I don't know why this match happened if they're kind of just going to brush her aside for Xia Li challenging for the title. Then with a 6 out of 10, there were 7 matches today. Wow. 6 out of 10. Duke Hudson versus Ikemen Jiro. This match was a lot of fun. It was so fun to see this clash in styles. Duke Hudson's very physical, brutal style, and Ikemen Jiro's high-flying style. It was a lot of fun. And some good character moments. They got to see everyone's gimmick real well. So, yeah, it was great. Also, 6 out of 10. Gigi Dolan versus Saray. Really fun. This match was really fun. I'm torn on whether I liked the Mandy Rose reveal, because yes, it was surprising and interesting. I don't know why he did it in that match, because Mandy Rose looked impressed by Saray, so maybe Mandy will be Saray's manager. I don't think Mandy Rose is coming back to NXT. Maybe Mandy's gonna pull Saray to the main roster, kind of fast track her. Yeah, I know. That'd be horrible. Plus they don't really have any bubbly Japanese wrestlers on the main roster.
Nothing spry.
Yeah, like
Asuka is good because she's got the, but she seems tired right now, and I don't blame her.
Yeah,
she seems tired.
But she still had, like, when she came main roster, she was still kind of like the edgy side. I think Kairi was more bubbly than Asuka was.
Yeah.
But now Kairi is no longer active, so. Then a 7 out of 10 runner-up is Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano. Yeah, the outcome sucked. If Johnny won this would have been like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Probably not 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10. Karrion winning, just, it sours the whole thing, because he's no fun to watch, and having him finish a match with like just 3 power bombs and then a forearm. Come on, at least like finish with the Doomsday Saito. Don't finish with the forearm. Or I don't know. It also made Johnny look weak, which I don't want. Johnny's great. I don't know what they're gonna do with him now. Yeah, probably rematch. It's weird that Austin Theory, I guess Austin Theory didn't get involved because of Joe. But Joe did add a lot of enjoyment to the match. For a second, I thought Johnny was gonna get it.
I'm kind of glad I didn't see it now.
Nobody can hear you.
Microphones. I was gonna say that I'm glad I didn't see it, because
You would have been pissed?
Yeah, if Johnny looked like...
Yeah, I mean, when he got off the one final beat, I was like, that's it. It's done. It's done, but no.
That's what NXT does so well. They let the challenger get the finisher in, and then you sit there and you're like, oh, this is what's happening. Yeah. And then it's not.
But I do hate when finishers are broken out of frequently. The finisher should be a protected thing.
It's on and off. I feel like NXT does. My opinion.
Well, if we're talking about doing finishers well, Karrion is not it.
Well, Karrion Kross doesn't count. He's a main roster.
Yeah. At this rate, I don't know what they're going to do with Karrion. Like, how soon they're going to bring him to the main roster. No, I don't think he's gone through enough people to vacate the title. Like, Shayna vacated it when she literally took on everyone.
Like, he went through 4 people.
But not in singles. I think Shayna took on everyone in singles. Okay. This only gives a reason for everyone to go at him one by one. Yeah, he's probably the most boring thing about the show. Now it's not even Robert Stonebrand, because now that Aaliyah left, it's not that boring.
Karrion blows.
Karrion's not good.
That's why I know he's going to Raw, because he's not an interesting character.
They could have him be the Brock Lesnar of NXT if they had Scarlett talk for him. But they have him talk for himself. And meanwhile, every fucking every challenger just rails into him, saying that he sucks at wrestling, he sucks at fucking talking. NXT has to do everything they have to make him look good. And meanwhile, Scarlett because Scarlett's really good. Scarlett's a great wrestler. She's really good on the mic, and yet she's just his wife, I guess. Yeah, she's just standing there like an emoji. You're right, Freddie.
It.
Yeah. All right, but match of the night with a 7 out of 10. Santos Escobar versus Dexter Lumis. This match had no right even happening in the first place, but it was so much fun. I think Dexter Lumis going out in that way still protects him, but Santos also should have been protected, like he was with winning the match. Would have been higher had there been no distraction, because at the end of the day, distractions are a little cheap, but it was still a ton of fun. And got a good storyline in the ring with Santos just trying to figure out how to take down Dexter, and Dexter being maximum weird in the match. It was so good. It's very well done. And so that's the match of the night. And so to run it back, promo of the night, Cameron Grimes is LA Knight's Butler. Wrestler of the night, Santos Escobar. Match of the night, Dexter Lumis versus Santos Escobar. All right. Liz, do you want to answer some questions? I'll let you get in closer so that you'll be able to be heard. All right, so let's look at the YouTube real quick. Let's see if there's any questions there. No questions on the YouTube. Okay, so Miriam has a question. I know that Ring of Honor has the Pure title, which is built around technical wrestlers / wrestling. Do you think this new focus on best technician in WWE can lead to something similar to that? A title just for technical wrestling? I don't think so, because I think WWE has enough titles as it is. In fact, they might need to merge some, but I like seeing, because that would take technical wrestlers away from the world title. Keeping them in that same scene as everyone else just creates a nice fusion of styles. It was a lot of fun.
I don't know if that's going to result in the title itself, but at least with NXT, and the one thing that NXT has been consistently bringing us is kind of honor within technical wrestling. We don't quite see that in the main roster, I feel like, but
because there's barely any technical wrestlers in the main roster,
right? So I feel like, if anything, NXT is bringing us more of emphasis on technical wrestling, and I'm glad that we're getting that. I don't know if we're ever going to get a title specifically for that, but I think that NXT will become more based around that going forward, because they are bringing more and more technical wrestlers in.
Yeah.
I mean, even just with like Carmelo Hayes, he's not quite purely technical, but he has technical aspects to wrestling, and I think that's where NXT is trying to guard themselves toward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think also, like, technical wrestlers are they're considered in kayfabe like very hard to get around. So that's why Timothy Thatcher came off as like such a monster to everyone. Like Finn Balor struggled against him. So like somebody like Pete Dunne looks like a fucking monster because he's so technical and analytical. So I just think having their presence in the world title scene and the mid-title scene is enough, honestly.
I mean, even Keith was relatively technical in spite of his size.
You see, I consider someone technical like getting off a lot of submissions. Like Karrion, I think, is more technical than Keith.
Right. I think more so the point is that recent champions and just recent people in the spotlight are more technical wrestlers. I mean, they're pushing this cruiserweight division that has a lot of technical.
Yeah, it's got what? Kushida, Roddy,
Santos even.
Tyler Rust. Santos
went toe-to-toe with Kushida, and I would trust him as a technical wrestler.
I mean, fighting a technical wrestler doesn't necessarily mean you're technical.
Santos has some good submission moves, honestly, I think.
I don't know, because Johnny has like the Gargano escape, which is a good submission, but I wouldn't consider him technical.
I really think they're breeding a whole new league of Giants, honestly.
Yeah,
I think that's where this is going.
I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't say that so much, but I get kind of what you mean.
The vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. So that answers that. I believe that's all of our questions. So, Liz, do you want to close out the show, or do you want me, the host, to do it?
You have another part.
Yeah, I did both yesterday.
I adore you.
Mm-hmm.
If you joined us tonight, or if you joined Mark tonight, thank you so much. And if you want to join both of us in the future, we will be live on Friday for the first, in 400 some odd days, 500 maybe now, for the first live episode of SmackDown in front of literal crowds. We will be podcasting that tomorrow. Tomorrow.
We get an early viewing, everyone.
We will be broadcasting that live Friday night after the finishing of the Friday night episode of SmackDown.
It's a long-winded way to say it's a post-show. Right after. And I'll take the mic back.
Thanks.
Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is The Pinfall Podcast. We have all of our previous episodes there. You can watch the first one on there, and compared to how we are now, definitely gotten a lot better, if I do say so myself. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And if you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show, twitch.tv/The Pinfall Podcast. We'd love to have you and talk to you live. All right, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown, and have a fantastic rest of the week.